What if I told you the greatest enemy of your life isn't the world outside, but the voice inside your mind? The truths you've ignored might be the very keys to your freedom. Are you ready to hear them? Have you ever wondered why life's greatest lessons often come wrapped in pain, failure, or disappointment? We grow up thinking that wisdom will arrive neatly, like a gift placed in our hands, but the truth is harsher and more shocking. Experience is the most demanding teacher. It doesn't whisper, it doesn't comfort, it strikes hard and then waits to see whether you rise stronger or collapse. People like to run away from mistakes, but in reality, mistakes are the chisels that sculpt our character. You can spend years trying to avoid them, but without them, you will never know your true strength. A perfect life may look attractive from the outside, yet it teaches you nothing. It is only through falling, through the scars of trial and error, that you begin to understand the depth of living. Hello everyone, welcome back Better Story YouTube channel. Today, let me take you on a journey through the hidden side of experience, the one many fear but no one can escape. Imagine this. One moment of patience can save you 10 years of regret, but one reckless decision, one careless word can haunt you for a lifetime. That is why silence often carries more wisdom than endless speech. A single lie can shatter 1,000 truths, while a small act of resilience can rebuild everything you thought you had lost. Think about this. You don't fail when you fall. You fail only when you refuse to stand up again. Every difficulty hides a lesson. Every loss hides a strength waiting to be revealed. What destroys us is not the external storm, but the weakness in our own mindset. Just like iron that rusts from within, we are undone not by others but by our own thoughts. To endure life's trials, you must learn not just to survive them, but to embrace them as necessary steps in your evolution. If these words are awakening something inside you, if you feel that pull to reflect on your own experiences, then you are in the right place. Don't just listen passively. Let this message challenge the way you see your past, your failures, and your struggles. And if you want to keep walking with us on this path of discovery, make sure to subscribe to Better Story so that we can continue bringing you more meaningful and life-changing stories in the future. True strength does not come from the applause of others or the comfort of having many companions. It begins in the silence of your own mind. Nothing in this world can destroy you as deeply as your own negative thoughts. Just as iron is not broken by outside force but by its own rust, a person is weakened not by enemies, but by the corrosion of doubt and fear within. Your mindset is the foundation of every choice you make, and until you master it, life will always feel heavier than it truly is. Self-trust is the first secret of success. When you begin to believe in your own abilities, the obstacles that once looked like mountains shrink into stepping stones. Many people crave validation, but the truth is, confidence grows not from external approval, but from the quiet courage to stand alone when no one else understands your vision. Learning to walk by yourself, to face your battles without seeking constant support, is not loneliness. It is preparation. It is the training ground where your spirit grows unshakable. When you change your thinking, you do not just alter your perspective, you alter your destiny. A defeated mind will always find excuses, but a strong mind will always find solutions. It is not about erasing fear, but about choosing to act in spite of it. Every great achievement began with someone who decided to trust their inner strength, even when the world doubted them. And once you learn to direct your thoughts, life itself begins to bend toward your vision. Words are not as light as they seem. They carry the weight of creation and destruction. One careless sentence can ignite years of conflict, while one kind phrase can heal a heart that has been broken for decades. Once spoken, words cannot be taken back. They may be forgiven, but they will never be forgotten. This is why we must treat language as both a gift and a responsibility. In life, there are 4 things you cannot recover: a word after it is said, an opportunity after it is missed, time after it has passed, and trust after it is lost. But life is not shaped only by our words, it is carved by our habits. Every small action you repeat, whether good or bad, builds the architecture of your future. People often dream of greatness, but forget that the secret of the future is hidden in the routine of every day. You do not need to accomplish something extraordinary in one leap. Instead, cultivate small, disciplined habits that, over time, construct the path to extraordinary results. Habits, like invisible architects, create who you are becoming, long before you notice it yourself. And above all, let your actions speak louder than explanations. Do not waste your life trying to prove your worth through endless words or justifications. The world pays little attention to promises, but never forgets results. Silence, combined with consistent effort, is often the most powerful statement a person can make. It is in doing, not in declaring, that character is revealed. Trust is one of the most fragile treasures of life, and once broken, it is almost impossible to restore. Never betray the one who believes in you, and never hand over your faith to someone who has proven dishonest. When you give trust, you gamble with your heart, and there are only two outcomes. You discover a companion for life, or you gain a lesson for life. Both are valuable, but only one will give you peace. Actions always outweigh words. A person can speak eloquently, can paint a picture of loyalty and kindness, but it is their behavior, repeated over time, that reveals their true nature. This is why the wise judge character not by promises, but by patterns. The one who gossips about others in front of you will one day gossip about you behind your back. Distance from such people is not cruelty, it is self-respect. Relationships, however, are not just about avoiding the wrong people, they are about nurturing the right ones. Respect those who came before you, for their wisdom is the foundation you now stand on. Offer your strength to the weak, for one day you may be in need of the same compassion. Admit your mistakes, for humility opens more doors than pride ever could. In the end, maturity is not measured by how skillfully you can take revenge, but by how deeply you can understand those who hurt you, choosing not to repeat their cruelty. To live with integrity is to cultivate bonds that uplift rather than diminish, and to walk away from connections that poison the soul. Integrity is the foundation upon which all true greatness is built. Honesty is not just a virtue, it is the first chapter in the Book of Wisdom, a chapter that cannot be skipped without losing the story's meaning. Self-respect, too, is non-negotiable, for the way you see yourself sets the standard for how the world will treat you. A person who constantly makes excuses chooses to remain small, but one who accepts responsibility begins to rise above mediocrity. Life will always place obstacles before you. Some people will throw stones on your path, but the meaning of those stones depends entirely on you. You can allow them to form walls that confine you, or you can use them to build bridges that carry you forward. It is never the stone itself that decides your future, but your attitude toward it. Problems are universal, yet the difference between those who are defeated and those who grow lies in perspective. Society, too, reflects this truth. A single act of courage can inspire change, while silence in the face of injustice empowers the oppressor. History is not written by those who complain or excuse themselves. It is written by those who act, who lead by example rather than opinion. Ego crumbles quickly, but character endures, and it is character that shapes the world far more than wealth or status. At its core, life demands that we choose every day who we want to be. The one who hides behind excuses, or the one who creates meaning through action. To cultivate integrity, honesty, and courage is not simply to build a reputation, it is to leave behind a legacy that no one can erase. Life has a way of reminding us that storms do not last forever. After every night comes a dawn, and after every storm comes a rainbow. The path to success is never straight or smooth. It bends, breaks, and tests you until you wonder if the struggle is even worth it. Yet it is precisely in those difficult seasons that your character is being carved. Fast victories may inflate your ego, but slow, steady success builds the kind of resilience and humility that no failure can erase. Greatness is never born in comfort. It grows in the quiet persistence of hard work, in the unseen hours where no one applauds and no one notices. The eagle does not avoid the rain by hiding, it rises above the clouds. Likewise, those who endure do not escape challenges but transcend them by changing their perspective. Every hardship carries within it a lesson, and every setback, if embraced, becomes the seed of future strength. What changes the world is not your opinion but your example. People may doubt your words, but they cannot deny the consistency of your actions. Each day is a page in the book of your life, And though you cannot control the storms that arrive, you can decide whether to respond with fear or with courage. True success is not found in applause, titles, or wealth, but in the quiet peace of knowing you lived with purpose, perseverance, and integrity. And when the time comes, it will not be your possessions that remain. It will be the respect you earned, the lives you touched, and the strength you showed when life demanded it most. Life, at its core, is not defined by ease or perfection, but by how we respond to trials, mistakes, and uncertainty. Every setback, every disappointment, every moment of doubt carries within it the potential to teach us something invaluable. True strength is not the absence of failure, but the courage to rise again, stronger and wiser. Trust is fragile, words are powerful, and habits are the unseen architects of our destiny. When we understand that our thoughts shape our reality, our actions reveal our character, and our patience forges resilience, we begin to live with intention instead of drifting through life. The lesson is simple, yet profound. Live as a person of integrity, guided not by excuses or fleeting comforts, but by discipline, gratitude, and courage. Learn from your mistakes, listen before you judge, and act with kindness even when the world tempts you otherwise. Apply this by slowing down each day, being mindful of your words, investing in habits that build your future, and choosing to lead by example rather than opinion. When faced with hardship, remind yourself that storms are temporary, but the strength you gain from them is permanent. If these reflections have inspired you, we invite you to subscribe to Better Story. Your support gives us the motivation to continue sharing meaningful, life-changing content with you in the next videos.